Can you hear me now? Hello.
Arun, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, now I can hear. I think some network issue.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we have, in terms of financials, we have two parts to understand. So one is Oracle EBS. So EBS, since you have worked on it, so I'll be taking you through like what is there in the EBS and what is there in the Fusion. So you will get it easily. So we will not have this thing there. So the other part that we wanted to understand is on the Hyperion aspects. So where we have multi-dimension cubical values. So the reason why we will have multi-dimension cubical values is that basically it will help in terms of reporting. For example, let's say if I want to develop any report in EBS, so this is entirely different. Like we need certain technical components inside it. So we will need technical assistance there. But whereas here in Fusion, we don't need such technical help, provided we are not using the code and the other thing. So there are two options to it. So one is to using the code that is basic SQL query or different codes are there. So we can use either one of it, or we can use just drag and drop. So this option is not there in the EBS, but whereas it is available in Fusion application. Okay. So, so this becomes a powerful reporting tool in terms of financial things. Okay. So that's what the combination of this five products called as Fusion application. Okay. And then when we speak about the Fusion application, so it is Oracle is promoting basically SaaS, but apart from SaaS, we have other modules as well. That is SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Okay. So the difference between each one of us that how much control are we having in terms of our on-premise, our IaaS, or PaaS, or SaaS. So if you see here in SaaS model, we don't have any control over it. Basically, the application data, network, middleware, everything is handled by Oracle by themselves. Let's say I wanted to take a backup, so I will not be able to do anything because in SaaS model, I will not have a DBA. So it is entirely handled by the Oracle representatives. So they will clone it and they will have the record of each and everything. But whereas in the past model, if you see, I can have access to my application. That is, let's say I have a requirement wherein I wanted to integrate between multiple applications. So I have core application and then I have reporting application as in Fusion, Oracle Fusion. So in this case, if I want to expose my particular table or any view or anything, any components of backend, if I want to expose it, basically I will need rights to expose it. So this is not available in SaaS model, but whereas if I take a PaaS model, I'll be able to do it. Even if I wanted to create any custom application, I'll be able to create it using the PaaS model. So the difference between PaaS and the IaaS is that in IaaS, I will have more control over it. Even the middleware, whatever I wanted to customize it, so I'll be able to customize it. So only thing in IaaS is that the storage and the networking parts will be handled by Oracle. So apart from that, all those aspects of it is handled by us. So that is the difference between each one of us. So on-premise, we know that it is entirely handled by the customer or the client who's picking this particular product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any doubt till now?
So one client can have both SaaS and PaaS.
Yeah, yes, this one is possible in the sense that you are saying that partially I wanted to have the SaaS and partially I wanted to have probably on-premise also, hybrid
Oh.
solution.
Mhm. So how it works actually? I mean, at what till what level of customizations or reporting we can do that in that partial PaaS and SaaS?
So partial, so here hybrid solution is nothing but let's say I wanted my application to be hosted in cloud, that is SaaS model. But whereas I'll handle my middleware, network, and storage everything within my own premise. So this we call as an hybrid solution, wherein few things that I can give it to Oracle. So there are few customers who still wants to have control over their data application and all those things. So provided they have enough trust with the cloud and the other things, so we can opt for this hybrid solution wherein the application will be handled by Oracle SaaS model, and the network storage and everything will be handled by their own DBA infrastructure guys.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Anything else?
No,
Okay. Okay. So basically, we know that Oracle has a database. So we have rows and columns. So this is the standard database that Oracle has for the EBS environment. But whereas if we speak about Fusion, we have other database called SPS database. So this is what I was referring, wherein we have cubicle values. So what will happen in this particular part is that, so whenever I'm creating this ledger, so let's say I'm creating a new ledger today, so this will create a cubicle value. So it will create an space cube. So this space cube will have reference to the new transaction, whatever I'm creating. So let's say I have created a ledger. Today I'm entering a new transaction. So this will reference to this particular cube and it will be linked with each other. So this is what we are calling as a multi-dimension cubicle value. So wherein if I want to take report out of it, so I can take report, let's say I have five different segments and I have a period and I have a ledger. So these parameters, I can add it there, just kind of a drag and drop, and I can just select the values and I can pull in the output. Okay. So this is not, this comfort is not there in the EBS environment. So that is the advantage of having it. So since we have opted for this SPS database, or Oracle has taken it, so we have something called chart of account at structure. Okay, so in EBS we have, probably we will get into it, but I'm just given highlight. Okay, so
okay.
basically here we have this thing, or you call the two level chart of accounts. So let's say I have an requirement wherein I wanted to create one chart of accounts, but whereas it will be used for multiple ledger. So for those cases, what I will do is that I can create in EBS, I should create two different chart of accounts, but here it is not the case. So what I can do is that I can create at two levels. So my parent chart of account will have one set of, let's say, 10 segments, and my child segment, my child chart of accounts will have, probably I'll split out here. So I'll say one set will have five segments and the other set will have another five segments. So based on this, I can configure and I can set up my ledger. So those kind of privileges are there using this what we call the Fusion application. So it is there inside the Fusion application. Okay, so that is the base for SPS database. So we will see more when we see inside the application. Any doubt in this?
No, no.
Okay. Okay, so we know multi-year access control. So wherein we have a structure for it. So similarly, so this is our enterprise structure. So if we look at it, so we have enterprise on top. So there is a mild difference between EBS and Fusion. So in EBS, if you look at it, so it is not that I can have only one business group. So let's say I'm operating my business in 10 different countries. So very well I can have 10 different business group, provided the country is different. So under, let's say I'm operating in India, I'll say probably Honeywell India India operations, and I will have respective line of business and the ledger and the legal entity and all those configurations. But whereas in this case in Fusion, if we take, it is not that we can have multiple enterprise based on the country operation. So it is always one. When we say enterprise, it is always one. We cannot have more than one enterprise. Okay. So under this enterprise, basically we have divisions. So division mostly it is so as far as I have worked. So the division segment or the this particular part is used only as a line of business, but it is not restricted only to the line of business. But most of the
Mhm.
cases, it will happen kind of a line of business will be used here. The reason why we will use line of business here instead of chart of account is that I can track it at header level. In a way, I don't track it with ledger or any particular segment. Instead, it will give me the consolidated financial statement. So for this purpose, I will use this as an division segment. That is, here in this case, for example, I have taken electronics and I have taken fire equipments. Okay. So here I have segregated into two parts. So that is fire equipments ledger and electronics ledger. And then here, if you see, I have split it out into two parts based on the operation of this one, country of operation. So here I have taken US and I have taken Singapore. So similarly, I have taken the other way. And we have something called business unit. So business unit is nothing but operating unit, the same thing. It is just a term change. Okay. And two things new here. So that is not related to finance, but still I'll just point out. So distribution center is kind of an reporting thing. So it is SEM part. It is kind of an distribution center wherein all the items will be distributed from this particular location. So this will give a better reporting and the other aspects. Okay. And then we have the inventory organization. So this we know very well that inventory organization is the what do you call the master org and the actual org. So the master org is something kind of an virtual organization. So wherein I can have one virtual organization, and under one virtual organization I can have multiple inventory organization. So this is
Oh,
our overall structure basically. Any
yeah,
doubt on this?
clear. No, no, clear. So only thing is I can say here the two things is business group is changed to enterprise.
Operating
Division is
unit.
a new concept, right? It's a new thing.
Yeah,
So,
yes, correct.
okay. And the naming of OU is changed to business unit.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there are a few changes in terms of accessibility and the other aspects. So here I can say that entirely it has changed from EBS in the sense. So let's say let's compare with EBS, how I will create an user and how I will access. Let's say I wanted to give access to probably the invoice creation. So how I will give is that basically I'll have the menus and I will attach the menus to my responsibility, and I will attach this responsibility to the user, and provided I have given the profile option access and all those things. But here in Fusion case, it is entirely different in the sense we have roles and users. So roles are divided into multiple parts. But before that, well, when we speak about user, so it is not that one user that we are creating. So here we have two kind of users. So one is implementation user and the another one is employee user. So employee user is the actual user who will make the transaction in the system. But whereas the implementation user is the one who will be implementing the solution to the client or the customer. So how do we identify that this is an implementation user or this is an employee user is that with the role assigned to this particular user. So here if you can see, implementation user has two roles. One is application implementation consultant and another one is IT security manager. So here the application implementation consultant is nothing but access to the setups. So we have a specific place called functional setup manager. So we will see when we see it in the application. So basically this access is given when we have the role assigned as application implementation consultant. And what is IT security manager is that it is kind of an sysadmin access. So in sysadmin, what basically people will do is that they will create the user, they will create the responsibility menus, customize the menus, and all those things. So the same thing will be done here. So if I want to create any implementation user or employee user, or I want to assign any role, or I want to customize any role, so everything will be done using this particular role called IT security manager. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what about user. And now coming to the role. So here in Fusion application, it is entirely role-based access control. So when I have role, so I can access based on my given role. So let's say I have given accounts payable user. So I'll be able to access only those roles. I cannot access more than that, like the payments and the other things I'll not be able to see. So similarly, we have multiple options. Like we here, if you see, we have job role, we have duty role, and we have data role, and then we have abstract role. So job role is nothing but kind of a list of activities that I will do. So if we take accounts payable, so I will create invoice and then I will inquire invoice and I'll run the report. I'll do the accounting and I'll do payments and I'll query the payment. I'll do the reconciliation. All those combinations and these things we call as an job role. Okay. And now what is duty role is that basically I have a certain function that is, let's say, creation of invoice and let's say accounting the invoice. So these are two different duty roles. Okay. So any specific functionality that we are speaking about is what duty role. Okay. And then we have data role. So data role is something that giving access to the business unit or ledger or anything. So it's not mandatory that always we will have to give the data role. So job role and duty role should be sufficient. But if at all there is a requirement that I wanted to use this particular role customized only for this business unit or only for this ledger, so I can use the data role. Okay. And then we have the abstract role. So abstract role is something kind of an employee assignment. So it is similar to it, similar to data role, but only change is that it is specific to any ledger or the business unit or any given parameter. But whereas abstract role is specific to an single employee. So let's say I wanted to customize this role only for employee A. So I can customize it. So while customize it, I have an option to give the employee user. So there I can attach the employee user and make use of it. So only this particular user will be able to access this functionalities which is created by this custom role. Okay. So in EBS, basically we have this thing like there are seeded menus given by Oracle, but the
Yes.
most of the cases, not most of the cases, all the time we will have this customizing the menus because we don't
Yes.
want to give access to all the users. So what we will do is that we will customize this particular menu and we will attach to the newly created the responsibility. So similarly, here we have the option of customizing the role. So, so one thing that is eliminated from EBS to Fusion is that the responsibility. So we don't have anything like a responsibility. So if you see, so responsibility is like an intermediate wherein it carries the actual functionalities wherein we will attach those functions inside menus and we will attach menus inside responsibility, and finally we are attaching the responsibility to the user. But here we don't have this intermediate uh, functionality called responsibility. So instead we are directly assigning the roles, which means we are directly assigning the menus to the user. So that is the simple way of handling the user management. Okay. Any doubt till now?
No.
Okay. Okay, fine. So I'll get into application. Probably I'll show what is there and other things.
Yeah, and also, I mean, just please let me know the topics covered.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this would be our landing page. So wherein we have a few tiles, it will show the immediate actions and the other things. So if you come down, so this is an what do you call the practice instance. So we'll not have things to be configured because this will get refreshed on a weekly basis. But in real time, in an production environment or the UAT environment, we will have the analytics and the other things coming up here. So which will tell us the number of payments that is being processed or number of, I mean, the last date of statement that is reconciled and all those things. Okay. So, so this is analytics side of it. So this will be our landing page. And then we have this thing, the list of activities or the functions that I can use of it based on the roles that is assigned to me. Okay. So here I'll see the big list of things because since this is an test environment, I have assigned most of the roles to it. So that's why I'm seeing the order management, supply chain, and general ledger. Everything is there actually. Okay. So based on the access, I'll see those things. So if at all I want to create anything, so I'll just click here and I'll start with my transaction. Okay. And then here on the left hand side, we have something called tools. So under tools, so basically we have this thing called security console. So the purpose of having security console is to manage our users and roles, the role assignment, creating the role, or the customizing the roles. So all those things will be handled here in this part. Okay. So role customization probably we will see at later point. So now we will see the basic user addition and how it will work and the other things. Okay. So yeah. So this is the simple user creation page. So here we will not define whether this is an employee user or this is an implementation user. So what we will do is that we will just give the first name, last name, and we will give the username and these things. And then what we will do is that we will give the password manually, and we will add the roles to this particular user. Okay. So to add the role, so this is the option. So add role. So let me add this one, this two roles that is for the implementation consultant. Okay. So here you can see that we have a copy of it. So which means we have created some custom role of this particular role, the actual role which is given by Oracle. So it is not suggested to go with the same naming convention and the other things for the better this thing. So I'm selecting this one thing, and also I'm selecting the security console so that I don't need to come again and again to this page to assign the user access. Okay, so with this we are done with the user creation. So the next part that we have it here is that roles. So let's say I wanted to create a custom role. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to create a custom role for general accountant. So I cannot just create a new role. So instead, well, I mean, it's not that allowed, but it is suggested to use this option to copy the role. So we cannot edit this role. So this is restricted by Oracle. So what we can do is that we can copy the role. Okay. So when we copy this role, we will change the name and the rest of the things, the inheritance and the other options will be followed up. And here, if you see, so this is where actually we will give the access to the specific function. Okay. So here we have a list of functions and the other things like creating the financial statements and the budget and file-based import. All those things are given here. So let's say I don't want to give option to import the files, so I can simply remove this. So I actually selected this option called edit role. So I will not be able to delete this particular function. But if I copy this particular thing, so I'll be able to delete it. So only the desired functions will be given to this user. Okay. So then we have the data security, which means the access. So what are the access that I have given by each business unit and the ledgers and other options. So based on that, I can give the access to it. So again, this is editable. So in case of copy role, and then we also have the create data security policy. So if I want to create a new security policy, so I'll be able to create using this particular option. Okay, so then we have two things. So one is inheritance and the other one is non-inheritance. So based on this, probably we can do the restriction and the other things. So here, if you see, most of them are role-based hierarchy. So whatever is there, so it will be copied down to the respective functions. Okay. And then we have user assignment and the other things. So if at all I wanted to assign any particular user, so I can assign it here. So since this is an test environment, so we have many users assigned to it. So but if at all I wanted to use with specific user, I'll be able to use it. So we can customize the role and we can add any specific user, and probably we can give access to that user. Okay, so that is what about roles. So the next part that we will see is that functional setup manager, and why do we have this functional setup manager? Okay, so I'll just click here, and here if you see we have setup and maintenance. So this is the place where basically we will navigate for our configurations. Okay. So there are two ways to it. So if this is a fresh implementation, what I will do is that I'll do a manage implementation project, and probably I will start with the basic configurations, that is from the scratch, creating the project and assigning the offerings and features, and then I'll start my basic configurations from GL. But if at all I have configured already, I'm in a partial way of completion. So what I can do is that I can simply select my offering. So offering is nothing but the product or the module. So in EBS we have AP, GL, CMS, and the other modules. But here it is combined into one module, that is financials. So we don't have with segregated based on AP and AR. So it is under one particular offering. But whereas the SEM and the other things we have into different part. So financial, under financial we have all other five modules, and we have accounting hub as in separately. Okay. So now if I click let's say financials, so I will see the mandatory options here. Okay. So how I will enable this is that I can check this one, show a required task, or probably if I want to see all the tasks, I can give all the tasks. So it will show all these options under this particular legal structure. Okay. So accordingly, I can change and I can start with my basic configurations. Okay. And then another option that I have here in Fusion is that I can export my configurations. So in EBS, if you see, it is not that we can just take and dump out of it. Instead, what will happen is that there will be a separate activity which will be handled by DBA. So they will take a clone of it, and this setup will be get. So this is kind of a data storage. But in case of Fusion, we don't have those difficulties, wherein we can export our setups. And let's say I have a new environment that is coming up. So let's say I have two different environment. So one is SIT and the other one is UAT. So now I have configured in SIT. So now if I want to do it again in the UAT, so this is a manual. So instead, what I can do is that I can simply say that uh, setup data export, and I can take into a CSV file, and this CSV file can be imported into the second environment, that is UAT environment. So from there I can start with testing and the other aspects to it. Okay, so this thing is new in Fusion. And yeah, so we'll start with implementation. So now what is project is that, so this is the navigation to create the project. So now what is project is that, let's say, so let's say I have an bit that I wanted to implement only the financial products to it. So this project which I'm going to track will have 5 modules. In a sense, it is one particular offering that is called financials. Or let's say I also wanted to use accounting hub. So I'll say it is two offering. Okay. So let me give a name to it. Okay. So I can give the start date and end date to it. So let me say it is 1st of January. So for now, I'm not giving end date. So probably we can give it at later point. So we have two things here. So I can click next, and I can add the offering, or I can say save and open the project. And from there, I can add the offering. Any doubt till now?
No, Arun. I mean, you will explain in detail, right, in
Yeah, yeah.
the next classes.
Maybe it's taking time, so I'll just explain with the created one. Okay. So here, if you see after creating this project, so this is how it will look like. So from here, I can directly add the offering. So these are the offerings that is given by Oracle. So basically, I can pick any one of it. So let's say I wanted to add financials. So I can search, and I can just say apply. So it will be added to my list. So it's not only for the offering. So let's say I want to add any particular task to it. So I can search the task, and I can add from here. Yeah, so this is added now. So if you see here, so this is one offering called financials. So under financials, we have multiple features inside it. So that is accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed asset, everything will come under this one particular package called financials. Okay. So now, if I want to probably assign, so let's say I have a team of 10. So now I want to assign each module for, let's say, I would like to assign it to two person each. So what I will do is that probably I'll click here. So I'll assign here. So I'll click this particular option and I'll say assign the task. So here I can assign the resource. So we don't have any resource as of now because we just created it. But after we create this particular users and the other things, so what we will do is that we will assign it to the particular user. So here we can set up the due date also. Okay. So we can say, so this is the due date and this date, this particular model should have been completed. So we can say all those options. Okay. So this is to edit the changes. So let's say now I have started my configurations. So I'll say in progress. Let's say I have completed it. So appropriately, I'll change the status. Okay. So that's what. And let's say I wanted to remove any certain feature. So I can simply click here and I can remove this particular feature. Okay. Okay, so now if I want to track this project, so basically how I will track is that, so I'll close this particular page and here if you see, if I want to track this project called Tata implementation, I'll click overview. So the moment I click overview, so this will give a graphical representation to me. Okay, since I did not create anything, it's not showing anything. Okay, we did not assign anything or we did not create anything. So no due date were assigned. So that is the reason we are seeing these values as null. Okay, so if at all we have configured something, so we will see all those in detail. So basically we can see by resource or by assignment or by probably the list of tasks that we have given to any individual resource. Okay, so accordingly we can track the entire project. Okay, so if I want to understand this week deliverables, so simply I can filter this and I can take those things. Okay, so this will becomes a small tool to track our project and make sure that whatever the activities or the commitments we committed to business, so we are on track. So that's what about the projects. Okay, yeah. So that's it on the project part. Any doubt till now, or probably we can see what will be covered in this thing.
So in real time also, I mean, this project concept will be used or individual.
No, this project concept is used only for the purpose of tracking and the other things. But apart from that, we will not use much of it. So it is used
Mm.
only to understand the implementation progress or anything that we are missing or anything going beyond our controls and how is that each employee's performance or the implementation consultant performance. So this is the purpose of it. But apart from that, business will not track anything out of it.
Mm.
This is a simple project management tool.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Okay, so we will see what will be covered in this particular course.
Sure.
Okay, so basically we will we will start with general lecture, and we
Mhm.
will see AP, AR, cash management, fixed asset. Also, we will see the expense and the taxation part of it, and we will see the data migration and how we will basically use the conversion and what is this automation that we have in Fusion application, these things. And then we will see few reportings and the other things. So we have reports and this thing. So as I was saying, so we have two kind of reports. So one is using the query and the other one is just drag and drop and the other things. So apart from
Mm.
that, we have financial reports that probably we will have to have hold of it. So those things will be seeing as a part of general ledger module. Okay. And then we have functional setup manager. So functional setup manager is nothing but the setup part that we saw today, basically. So we will see with few details. Okay. So these are the things that we'll be looking at in detail. Probably I'll share it with you. You can have a look at it. Okay. So at high level, so what are the transaction that we have like using this Excel based things and the migration aspects and what are the this thing requirement based solutions and these things we will see. Uh, and the consolidation process, and we have something new called account inspector and these things. Okay. And as I was saying, the financial reporting studio, we call it as FRS. So this will be saying, and we have something called Smart View. So this is Excel based tool wherein it will help in better reporting. Okay, so these things we will see it in detail. Okay, and apart from that, we have the AFBDA and the FBDA. So these are kind of AFBDA is something like our WebADA template, wherein we will use it to load any data into the application. So that is similar to it. So FBDA is something new to Fusion. So this we will see it with different functionalities, like starting from chart of account values and the trial balance and all those things we will see in detail. Okay. And then in accounts payable, basically we will see what is new in the application. Like we have a reference data set. How do we use it, and what is that new, and what is the advantage of using it, and all those factors. And apart from that, we have legislative data group, and legislative data group is not part of financial thing, but as a consultant, we will have to understand this the concept this thing. So I'll show you the configurations and what is done and why we are doing this legislative data group and all those things. Okay. And also we will create an employee user and we will assign role and we will see how to create a procurement agent. And so the reason why we will create procurement agent is that it's not similar to EBS exactly. We have few changes wherein supplier cannot be created by accounts payable specialist. So it will be created by the procurement executive. Okay, so that is the reason we are creating the procurement agent and the other things. Okay. So apart from that, we have a few other options as well. The different transaction we'll be looking at, and we will see a few reports inside it, like the drag and drop reports. Okay. And other functionalities we know the invoice part, different invoices that we have, and there are few types of invoice that has been removed out of this one Fusion. So that we will explain it. And apart from that, these are the transactions that we have. So other than that, the regular process like the PPR, prepayment, and the recurring invoice, those things are there. Okay. So similarly, we have accounts receivable. So when we are seeing the accounts receivable, we will see the intra-company, intercompany, and advanced global intercompany. So, how it will be used and what cases we will use, and the configuration part and the transaction, how it will happen in real time. All those things we will see. Okay. And apart from that, the few basic things which is there in EBS. So that is debit memo, credit memo, invoice, the miscellaneous receipt, and the write-off, chargeback, these things. Okay. And also we will see how to upload the FBDA template. I mean the receipt and invoice using the FBDA template. So the reason why we will see this is that this will help in terms of data migration. So it is not
Mhm.
that always we will use the coding and we will import those things. So it depends on client to client. So if at all the data volume is less, so probably and the data cleansing is not that huge. So we will go for FBDA template based migration. Okay. So which we will have to take it. So we will see how to upload and all those things. Okay. And then we have the cash management. So cash management, we will see the reconciliation part, and we will see the bank transfers, and how to create the manual statement and how to clear the manual statements. So these things we will see in cash management. Okay. And then we will see fixed asset, wherein we will see so fixed asset we don't have much changes to it. So this is regular one. So probably I'll share this. I mean this course content. You can have a look at it, and then we will cover the expenses and fusion tax. Okay, so for
No,
expense and tuition fusion tax also we don't have much tax. It is similar to EBS with a few changes to it. Okay. And apart
so
from
this
that,
open invoices conversion, you will see like how we will do it in real time.
no, this I will explain it how we will do it because I don't have the data or this thing. Probably with data only we can do the open invoice conversion and other things. But I'll show how it will happen in real time. Like we have the templates and the other things. So with that, I'll be explaining to you.
Mhm.
Okay.
See, what is actually Arun? I haven't worked as of now in any implementation project.
Okay.
So I'm also having, I mean, I can say like GL cache management. So those things also, right, support how it works. Like whenever there is some issue only, or like in any new configurations, like defining a recurring journal or mass allocation definitions, FSG.
Okay.
So that's kind of work actually I have done. But
Okay.
only the thing is, I am worried about myself is I don't have any. I mean, taking requirements from the business and documenting them and those stuff and functionality how it works. Accounting also because I'm not an accounting guy. If I commerce guy, I'm actually from BSc computers.
Okay.
So that is where I lack, and also I don't know how this open AP invoice conversion happens. And I heard that I mean they will take some dummy account and they will upload.
Yeah.
Then probably they will create some manual journals in GL. So those theoretical also I mean little bit I know, but I haven't worked up on that, and I don't know the steps and how to handle that and all.
Mm.
So that is my actually lack of knowledge here in this course. Uh,
Yeah. This
and
will.
it is a fusion, right? So it's again new for me. Uh, that is actually I mean whatever my concerns from my side actually.
Yeah, no problem. We will see those parts. So, probably whatever queries you have, so you can ask me, so I can answer you. So, at high level, basically, open invoices are taken to make sure that we are not leaving any data in our legacy data. To make sure we are taking up our open invoices. So when we say open invoices, so let's take the accounts payable module. So here what will happen is that basically I'll take the invoices that is not paid or the partially paid invoices. So this includes my prepayment. So when we say migration of prepayment, so also we will have the partially applied prepayment and also we will have fully applied prepayment. So we are not concerned about fully applied prepayment because so there are different approach in the data migration. That is whether we are going big bang approach or we are taking the traditional route, that is taking only the open invoices, because the big bang approach basically it will take a huge load in the database, so the infrastructure cost is more. So the most convenient and industry practice is to take the open invoices. So basically, we will take the invoices which is not paid or partially paid in the AP, and also we will take the prepayment. And what we will do is that, so here we don't have an option of making the payment by system. So this will be handled manually. So after migrating the prepayment, what we will do is that we will make the payment, because unless we make the payment we will not be able to apply this particular prepayment to any of the invoices. So we
Okay.
will take the invoices and we will get the prepayment also, whatever is partially paid or not paid, I mean applied. So we will take this into AP module, and when we push this particular transaction into GL, so we will reverse it. So the reason why we will reverse it is that basically we will take the trial balance. So when we take the trial balance, so we have already loaded this transaction, whatever we are getting into AP. So again, why we are getting this transaction is that to have the reconciled data between our accounts payable and general ledger. Okay. So that is the reason behind it. So to have it a dummy account and using the payments and the other things. Okay. Yeah, so this we will see it in detail probably when we see the accounts payable module. Okay. Yeah, and apart from that, we have a few reports. As I was saying that we have BI Publisher, Smart Views, FRS, and then we have OTBA, and then we have the security role and these things. Okay. So we have security rule and the cross validation rule. So cross validation rule, we don't have any change, but we have few changes in the security rules. So that we will see how it is different from EBS to Fusion. Okay. And then we have something called rapid implementation. So rapid implementation is again new. So after completing one full module, we will see how to load or how to set up the do the configurations using the rapid implementation. So wherein it is kind of an Excel tool wherein we will just give the data in Excel and system will create the configurations automatically. So this is not for all the configurations. This is for the basic configuration like the ledger creation and the operating unit or the business unit creation. So that is the purpose of rapid implementation. So these things we will be seeing in the system. So this would be our course content.
Yeah, that's what I actually facing these issues. I mean, when I'm attending any new interview. So, how you have done, what accounts you have taken during conversion process, and what are the steps you have done, those things.
Okay.
Asking. Yeah, yeah. That is also, and regarding the documentation part, like any MD50 or VR100 requirements gathering document, and how to capture them,
Okay.
CRP sessions, how they will go. I mean, actually, I'm looking for those things also. Actually, I mean,
Okay. Document in the sense you wanted to try out document, or what is that exactly you are looking at?
no, basically, suppose if I have I mean, how to prepare, I mean, how to create an MD50 and what are the things that we need to see. I mean, it's not complete document I'm saying, and what are the steps at oral at summary level. Those things actually, requirements gathering sessions, how to capture those requirements, and also this chart of account design session. So I mean, one person asked me, suppose I have a business in APAC and EMEA, so how you will design my chart of accounts? Just simply, so what is the approach that you will follow when if you want to chart of account design?
Okay.
So things.
Yeah, so this probably we can have probably you can note on the points. We can have
Hmm.
a separate discussion. when we are
Mm-hmm.
configuring the chart of accounts.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Anything
And
else?
also, as I said, I am just little bit. I mean, you just explain me the accounting things also. I mean, whenever there is accounting things will be there, right? Like uh, uh, how that accounting generates and all those things.
How accounting you are saying about space or the conversion or which part?
No, I mean overall accounting, like as invoice, right? Invoice, suppose if it's a refund is there, and
Yeah, yeah, that we'll be seeing. Yes,
so
yes, that is definitely will be seeing.
all those
Yeah,
accounting things, and from where it takes, and uh,
yeah, yes, yes.
how what happened, those things.
Yeah, I understood.
I'm weak at, I mean, as I said, I'm weak at commerce side, accounting side, so that's why.
Okay, you got it. We'll see, no problem.
So, and daily session will be in this time only. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll plan 8 o'clock.
Okay, okay,
Only when there will be few cases wherein I'll have some meetings, so I'll intimate a little earlier. So probably we'll push it half an hour or sometime. I mean, based on your convenience, we can have it scheduled, but we will try to have it on daily basis from 8 to 9:30 would be feasible for you.
yeah, yeah, I'm okay. So you will take in weekends also or 5 days? So,
Yeah, if you want weekends also, we can have it at weekends also.
okay, okay, okay. So,
Yeah, you can see and you can suggest the timing, so we can have it the common this thing.
yeah, yeah, yes. Okay, Arun, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, fine
I
then.
don't have anything.
Yeah, fine. So I'll share this course content. Probably
Sure,
you can also see this.
sure,
And
sure. Okay.
yeah, any queries before closing the call?
No, Arun, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So we'll close this call. So I'll share two things. So one is this recorded session, and this course content. I'll share it with you.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. Okay, sure.
Yeah, thanks, Kiran.
Thank you.